Every time you're running, you look just cool as ice. Where do you get this demeanor from? Because it looks like nothing bothers you.
Yeah, because all of us are human beings and I'm competing against humans, so why would I be afraid of someone? I'm a competitor, so I just focus on my race and do my part. That's what I have to do.
Some people are calling it that dominant performance there by yourself as a beat and teach, but surely the beat and teach comes in the worlds, right?
Yeah, because it's actually a good win, but the main focus is the world championship. So when I win at the world championship, everyone can say what they want to say.
Yeah.
Because I know.
Every time you're running, you look just cool as ice. Where do you get this demeanor from? Because it looks like nothing bothers you.
Yeah, because all of us are human beings and I'm competing against humans, so why would I be afraid of someone? I'm a competitor, so I just focus on my race and do my part. That's what I have to do.
Some people are calling it that dominant performance there by yourself as a beat and teach, but surely the beat and teach comes in the worlds, right?
Yeah, because it's actually a good win, but the main focus is the world championship. So when I win at the world championship, everyone can say what they want to say.
Yeah.
Because I know for sure I'm going to.
My followers, how are you all? Good afternoon, good evening, possibly good morning. All depends on where you are in the world. Welcome back to another live stream. Massive thank you to those of you who voted in the community poll. I tried to give you guys this live stream depending on your time. So you guys, I believe, voted for around about 4 p.m. Jamaica time. I decided to peg it back a bit and go a little bit later, just so if I can see if I can catch up with the majority of you guys, because I'm assuming you're all making your way home from work. I'm really excited for this live stream. I did ask you guys in the community section to give me your decision there pertaining to whether or not you wanted another athletics live stream, and you guys voted and said yes, you do want one. So to close off on the 2025 Tokyo World Athletics Championship, I figured let me go ahead and try and give you guys my top 5 moments. Now, my top 5 moments, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching back on replay, it will be different to you guys, I'm assuming, because my top 5 moments is quite clearly personal to myself. So I'm going to give you guys my top 5 moments. And when you can, whether you're watching it back on replay or whether you're watching a live, do go ahead and drop it in the comment section. Let me know your top 5 moments of the 2025 World Athletics Championships. And I will go ahead and respond to each and every one of you. All right. So go ahead and do that in your own time. Now, for me, the 2025 World Athletics Championship pretty much had it all. I hope you guys can't hear my background because it is very loud, hence me trying to increase my volume. So again, if you guys can hear my background noise, do let me know in the comment section and I will do the necessary tweaks because it is very loud my end. All right, so the World Athletics Championships, which basically just came to an end over the weekend, for me, it had it all. It had its all, probably more than I imagined, more than I anticipated. I don't know about you guys, but the World Athletics Championship, this World Athletics Championship that just wrapped up, it is a championship to remember. For me, forget the medals, forget the athletes there that didn't manage to get on the podium finish, the athletes that weren't able to get to the semifinals, subsequently the finals, and so on. For me, the real stories isn't written on the podium. It's written from the gasp from the crowd, the split-second decisions, and the unbelievable performances that unfolded and subsequently transcended the sport. So I'm going to be diving into my top 5 moments from the 2025 World Athletics Championships, which pretty much cemented the 2025 Tokyo champs for me. Again, it is going to be different to what you guys experience because we all experience different things, and my moments will most certainly be different to you guys. So the way that I look at these championships, whether it's the World Athletics Championships or the Olympics, I don't know if it's biased or not, or maybe it's just because I love the sports and I love different types of sports, but I also obviously love my country and I want my country to do well, and that means the black, gold, and green. I want you to, if you can't win gold, getting on the podium is fine, but if you don't do so, then that's also fine, because as I said, just get into the championships or any global event is definitely a success in itself. If you guys disagree with that, then fair play to yourself. But that's something that I believe, and it's something that I definitely will hold on to. So if Jamaica or the Caribbean isn't going to medal at the global events there, again, the world champs or the Olympics, then let it be Mama Africa, over to Mama Africa. And definitely, they are included in my top 5 moments. Again, my top 5 moments need to be different for you guys. But before I continue, I think it's only right for us to go ahead and take a little look at the medal table. I think we did this on Sunday, right? On Sunday, we looked at the medal table. So let's go ahead and dive right into the medal table once more as I break down to my top 5 moments of the World Athletics Championships. If you're tuning in, please do go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't hit the like button, it does not cost you a penny. If it does, send me an invoice and I will clear that for you. But I'm pretty sure it's not going to burn a hole in your pocket. So go ahead and hit that like button, right? Let's just go ahead and dive right into the medal table. So this is how the medal table stood at the end of the championships. I'm not sure if you guys have managed to look over this one, but nevertheless, I'm gonna go over and look into it with you guys. So usual suspect at the top of the table, isn't it? More times than anything else. Let me go ahead and remove my banner there so you guys can see possibly the top 5. So the United States there flying high at the top of the table, 16 gold medals, 5 silver, 5 bronze, accumulated 26 medals. So big ups to the United States there. Came out big hitters, heavy winners. They're followed by Kenya. I don't know about you guys, but Kenya most certainly put a smile on my face throughout this championship. Kenya finished in 2nd place. Yes, Kenya finished on the medal table for the 2025 World Athletics Championships in 2nd place. An applaudable 7 gold medals, 2 silvers, and 2 bronze, and they totaled up 11 medals. Canada finished in the 3rd place. Podium finish there if you want to look at it that way. 3 golds, 1 silver, 1 bronze, 5 medals there in their back pocket. Netherlands finished in 4th. 2 golds, 2 silver, and 2 bronze, making it all evens. That's 6 medals there in their back pockets. Botswana, don't know what you guys make of Botswana. Would be nice to hear in the comment section. Again, if you're watching on replay or if you're watching live. Now, Botswana secured 2 gold medals and 1 bronze, and applaudable 3 medals there in their back pockets. I think we can probably just go through the top 5 and then stick a pin in it, right? So in 5th place, it's actually a draw. You got a couple draws there for 5th. You got about how many countries there? 1, 2, 3, 4 countries there for a draw, but they actually still make up the top 10. But for context, pretty much they all finish on the same total, the same number of medals each, right? So those countries there, 5th, you have Botswana, 2 golds, 1 bronze, 3 in their back pockets, similar to Spain, 2 golds, 1 bronze. New Zealand with the same, 2 golds, 1 bronze. Sweden the same, 2 golds, 1 bronze. Portugal there following closely behind with 2 golds in their back pocket, a total medal standing there of 2. And Jamaica there with making up the top 10 there with 1 gold, 6 silver, 3 bronze, 10 medals in their back pocket. If you guys want me to give that another spin, do let me know in the comment section and I'll be more than happy to go ahead and do so for you guys. So while we are looking at the medal table, I think it is only right that I just stick a pin in it and dive right into it there for you guys. I'm hoping that you can still see the medal table. If you can't, do let me know in the comment section. I've made a rookie move. I started my live stream without my glass and my throat is still feeling a little bit itchy, similar to my last live stream, but I'm going to try and see if I can just get through this one without having to make my way into the kitchen to grab a glass. Definitely a rookie move from myself. So let's go ahead and kick off my top 5. So in my top 5, definitely have to throw Kenya in there. I don't know about you guys, but the table doesn't lie, does it? In terms of their medal standings, there I'll go over that one. 7 medals, 7 gold medals in their back pockets. Definitely hard for me to look past Kenya. I'm pretty sure we sat here watching the Kenya's 800 meters final. I'm sure we all sat here watching Kenya's 800 meters finals. And aside from that, just the way that they performed during the World Athletics Championships, creating their own golden moment, showing us their golden generation there. For me, it was captivating. I think it's safe to say that, especially when I think back to the men's 800 meters final there, that in terms of sports, it reminded me of those moments there where we all have that one athlete that pretty much made us pay attention to a sport or become a fan of either said sport or the athlete in thought. And I think definitely that's what happened there with Kenya. I think they pretty much did exactly that in terms of trying to grip my attention, getting my attention, and making me become a fan of their sports. They quite literally did their thing there out on the track in terms of their distance runners. Quite literally golden moment for Kenya. If you're from Kenya, you live in Kenya, whether you're Kenyan through either birth or heritage, I do imagine that this is definitely a proud moment for yourselves. I'm feeling proud for you, and I'm not even Kenyan, but definitely gave me plenty to smile about. So big ups to Kenya. They definitely holding down my top 5 position. And I think it's a position there that is definitely deserving of being in my top 5 spot. Not sure if you guys can still see the table in front of you, but I'm gonna leave it on the table. Now, in terms of what you guys are looking at there, if I backstep just a little bit so you guys can see that a little bit more clearer, or actually let's just leave it there because you can see the gender on the screen there in front of you. So if you can't see, I pretty much try to make sense of it all. Reason why it's such a potent moment, and one of those moments there from the championships, which again meant a lot to me, hence it being in my top 5. It's not just about what we saw Emmanuel Wanyoni produced in the finals of the 800 meters, which we all pretty much sat and watched with my live watch along. But it was also more so for me what his female counterparts were doing elsewhere. You can see there in terms of the screen there in front of you that 6 out of the 7 medals there that were won, the gold medals there that were won by Kenya were run by their female runners, which I think is unbelievable. It's definitely have to tilt your hats off to them doing what we would call a entire clean sweep. So in terms of the clean sweep, they're sweeping the top spot on the podium in every event from the 800 meters upwards. Again, when we're talking about their female athletes, so definitely been a lot of song and dance from myself initially, where the 800 meters finals is concerned, because obviously, like I said, we sat here watching Emmanuel Wanyoni and just in complete awe of what was unfolded in front of us, where I definitely was. I can't speak for you guys, but obviously the reason why we were watching the 800 meters men's finals anyways was because of Navaski Anderson was the main reason why we were watching in the 800 meters finals, and it's something there that I definitely don't regret. I think after watching the finals of the 800 meters and taking a glance and seeing what Kenya produced elsewhere in terms of their golden generation, again doing a sweep of the podium from the 800 meters upwards where their female athlete is concerned, combined with Emmanuel going on to becoming the not only the Olympic champion but subsequently now the world champion, coming up with those clutch moments from the big 3. I couldn't call it in the final of the 800 men's race there. I could not call it, definitely couldn't call it, especially as they drew closer and closer to the line there, the finishing line. Could not call it. Big 3 came up clutch. If there's what you call a clutch moment, definitely produced by the big 3 there. So in terms of the big 3, I'm obviously talking about the top 3 highest ranked 800 meters male runners in the world, you know, from 1 to 3, all coming up and finishing on the podium. So that would have been Kenya's Emmanuel Sujeti there of Algeria, and also Marco of Canada. I did previously say that I call it Africa finishing on the podium, and I'm still going to say that because, again, I already spoke about Marco's birthplace. Yes, we know that he represents Canada, but he's African at heart. So they gave me a wonderful moment outside of the usual events that gets us excited, you know, the sprinted events. Definitely 800 meters men's final, you have most certainly won me over. You've got my attention, and I do have to say there as well, we do have to give a massive big ups to Novaski Anderson, because he represented the black, gold and green in some excellent fashion. And in true, let me turn on this thing here. In true Jamaican fashion, I think what he did there was just refuse to come last. True Jamaican fashion. He was not trying to cross over that finish line in last place, and he finished in an applaudable. You have to tilt your hats off to him. He finished in 7th place, and you can't be mad at that. These races, in terms of the distance races, well, I grew up usually watching an African athlete win it, so it's not something there that is out of the ordinary. Again, even if you're looking at someone like Marco potentially winning said event, again, we have to also remind ourselves that he is African at heart. So I'm so used to seeing one of the big giants there of Africa winning the 800 meters, or the distance races, the long distance races there. That shouldn't come as a surprise that the podium finish once again belongs to Africa. So definitely I'm kicking things off in my number 5 position, giving full praise and full credits to Kenya. They did their thing. They absolutely did their thing, and it's not something there that can be taken away from them. Kenya bigging up their golden generation of female track stars, and just showing the world just how powerful they can be as a nation when it comes to athletics, when it comes to track and field. And you have to definitely tilt your hats off to them. To come second in the world, just only behind the United States, that's some powerful stuff. That is something that is definitely admirable and powerful in every sense of the word. So big ups to Kenya, and I am pretty much keeping it in Africa. I'm not budging from Africa just yet. I don't know what you guys make of the of your top 5. It'd be interesting to hear your top 5, but I'm definitely keeping things in Africa for the time being, because if I do take it back a step and maybe just remove this one here off my screen, and if I can even figure out how to do so, that would be great. Doesn't look like it wants to come off my screen here, guys. Let's see, maybe I might have to bring that one off the screen and then bring it back on. So let's go ahead and what I'm gonna do is go ahead and look at my you've got to be kidding me, the site just crashed on me. We're gonna go ahead and look at my number 4 best moments of the World Athletics Championship. And as I said, I'm very much keeping it in Africa for the time being. Again, I don't know who is in you guys' top 4, but I am keeping it in Africa so far. And I have to tilt my hats off to Botswana. I don't know where you guys would put Botswana if you were to do a top 5, but it's not just about what they did in the medal table there. The gold medals, one, you can see there 2 golds, 1 bronze. It was more about the style and pattern. It's not so much about what they managed to achieve, it's the manner in which they managed to achieve it. And I do have to say, let me go ahead and bring up another screen there for you guys, in case you guys aren't aware in terms of their achievements, which again they do finish 5th there in the medal table, alongside the likes of your Spain, New Zealand, and Sweden. Now, in terms of their applaudable achievements, which definitely no one can begrudge them of that, we all saw what happened. They've been rewarded with a public holiday. So it does say here in black and white, this is from BBC Africa. Botswana declares public holiday after historic athletics gold medal. And fully deserving of a public holiday, I must say so. So it does say here, Botswana has declared a public holiday to celebrate the country's victory in the 4x400 meters at the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, the first African nation to win the event. So you've got to be out your mind if you're not putting them in your top 5. They're in my top 5. And again, for me, it's not just about what they did, but I think it's the manner in which they did it. This race here towards the end, for me, was very similar to the closing stages there of the men's 800 meters final in terms of how Kenya managed to get it done with Emmanuel, and also how Botswana managed to get it done. I think it was Colin that closed off the 4x400 meters relay finals there. Doing what they did. So a little bit of a backtrack here. It does say here in terms of the athletes that represented Botswana: Lee, Letzlie, Busang, and Colin edged out the United States, the winners of the last 10 world titles in rain-drenched race. South Africa took third. So another 2 podium finishes there for Africa. So Mama Africa definitely singing loud and proud, as she should be. I'm not sure I agree with what's written here in black and white in terms of the Botswana being the winners of the 4x400 meters relay final. Yes, that is factual, but I don't agree with the part here where it says that edging out the USA after the US had previously won the last 10 world titles. I don't think that is factual, so I don't really want to confuse you guys, because I think if we take it back a step and look at the 2017 London World Athletics Championship, I believe the 4x400 meters relays finals went to Trinidad and Tobago. So I don't think this part here of the article there written by BBC Africa is factual in terms of the USA being winners of the last 10 world titles in said events. But again, just going on, giving full praises there to Botswana. They in terms of their achievements there, so going over the 2 gold medals won, subsequently getting a deserved public holiday, bagging a public holiday. For me, like I said, it's not just the achievements, but it's the swagger. They've got a certain swagger about them. Whether it's in their individual race or whether it's in their relay, they definitely have a swagger that's most certainly, for me, very eye-catching. They've become, since the Paris Olympics, I'm gonna be honest, since the Paris Olympics, they've definitely become one of my favorite countries to cheer for. I don't know about you guys, but they've most certainly they're growing on me. They're growing on me, and I can only see it getting better and better. As I said, they've got that little bit of a swagger there that you just can't overlook. And I'm definitely enjoying looking at them competing, whether it's in their relays or whether it's in their respective events. They're definitely giving their nation there plenty to be excited about. And I am certain that when that public holiday comes around, that they're definitely going to go ahead and enjoy that one. And as I said, in terms of the medals there won by Botswana, and at the start of the live stream I did say to you guys, look, if it's not going to be the Caribbean, then let it be Mama Africa that's taking gold, or subsequently doing their clean sweep on the podium. I can't be mad at that. You can see here in outside of the 4x400 meters relay, still continuing our conversation there about Botswana. You can see their men's Busan Colin here, he secured the 400 meters title, and that again, something there for you guys there to smile about, or something there for me to smile about, because as I said, if Jamaica can't do it, I would definitely rather see another Caribbean nation do it. And if another Caribbean nation can't do it, then I'm going to have to say, you know what, let's someone from Africa go ahead and take the title. And is this something there that float your boat? Is it something there that made you smile? Previously, we've seen title holder Antonio Watson with the crown. So if he can't wear the crown, if Watson can't wear the crown, who did you fancy taking the title? Were you rooting for the United States, or are you happy that the crown belongs to Botswana? Who would you have liked to have seen win the 400 meters men's finals. Not that it matters now. You're going to have to wait a tad bit longer until you see who the new king of the crown will be. For the time being, let the Botswanans enjoy their crown. Let Osang Colin here enjoy his crown. Definitely deserving of it. And all the people out there in Botswana, hope you guys enjoy your public holiday when it comes. Um it's something there that is definitely deserving. And if you are in Botswana, you haven't caught wind of this one, your public holiday, it was announced Monday 29th. So Monday 29th, less than a week to go until you have a um a holiday to celebrate, and that is a day ahead of the country's Independence Day. So happy Independence Day in advance to Botswana. Big up yourself. Thank you for giving me something to smile about. I have to put you in my top 5. There's no way in hell I wasn't going to put you in my top 5. You're definitely deserving of being in my top 5. And as I said, thank you so much for giving me something to smile about. So I've already gone through the number 5th, which is Kenya. Number 4, Botswana. Moving on to number 3. I think this is pretty straightforward for me. Didn't have any head scratches. Definitely didn't doubt it myself when I was selecting my top 5. Again, do let me know in the comment section who your top 5s are. Perhaps our top 5s are different, but holding down the top 3 position, holding down my top 3 position, it could only be her, couldn't it? It definitely could only be her. I think you definitely have to give athletes their credits. You definitely have to give athletes their praise, their flowers. And I'm definitely no stranger to doing so when it comes to placing those flowers there firmly at the feet of the athletes, most certainly when they deserve it. So my number 3 in my top 5 moments from the 2025 World Athletics Championship, it definitely comes down to none other than Melissa Jefferson Wooden. Who else? Like, who else was going to hold down my top 3 position? And then again, another athlete there. We can gloss over her achievements and why she's deserving of being in my top 5. Again, holding down the number 3 position. For those of you who are probably left in the dark a little bit, probably yet to catch up, I don't know why that is. The World Athletics Championships concluded on Sunday, but she secured a sprint double, in the 100 and 200 meters, and also subsequently sorry, in the women's 4 by 100 meters relay finals. And but for me, in terms of why I put her down in the number 3 position, it's not just about her applaudable achievements. She's obviously standing next to the legend herself, and I'm sure that's a proud moment for her. So it's not just about her applaudable achievements, but also equal to that, or maybe even edging that one out a little bit there in terms of how I managed to put her in my number 3 position. It's also about her personality. I think she has a flamboyant personality, a personality there that definitely grabs your attention. And for me, I've said this before, even when we're talking about other sports, so like the football, for me, a big part of athletes being able to captivate their audience and viewers, bringing new supporters on board and retaining their fan support. I think much of that, aside from the achievements, is also down to their personality. And I think that you can see that with an athlete like Melissa Jefferson Wooden, that she has it all in her arsenal. The competitor, the human element, I think is definitely something there that cannot be denied. So she's definitely holding down my top 3 positions. And while I am on the topic, I do have to say a massive big ups there to USA's 4 by 100 meters relay team. I'm sure most of you probably caught wind of this one here in terms of what they did recently. And I say recently, at the closing there of the 4 by 100 meters women's relay finals. I think the love and appreciation, I can't speak for you guys, but definitely for me, aside from me showing some love and appreciation to Melissa Jefferson Wooden, I have to extend that over to a few of the other USA girls there. Definitely the ones who were represented their nation there in the 4x100 meters relay finals. And one of those athletes there is USA's TT Terry, definitely waving the flag there for Melissa and TT Terry. And I'm not sure if you guys saw this one, so let's go ahead and bring it up on screen here and caught an eye of this post here, this Twitter post, formerly known as Twitter, I should say, now known as X. I know some of you probably a little bit stubborn and still call it Twitter, a bit like myself, but I thought this was a heartfelt message here from TT Terry some days ago, and it does read. It says here, Shelley and Fraser Price, what an incredible woman you are. Thank you for inspiring me and countless others for so many years. I went from being the little girl watching your races on YouTube to standing on the line next to you. A dream turned reality. Your presence has graced the track community with excellence, grace, and longevity, leaving a mark that can never be erased. And it concludes here by saying a special thank you for taking the time to pull me aside after the award ceremony. It might not be, it might have seemed like a small gesture, but to me, it meant the world. Your words will stay with me, and I will carry them forward on my own journey. So saying that to say, notably there, I did notice the obvious show of respect there from again TT Perry and Melissa Jefferson Wooden, that is again at the end of the 4x100 meters relays final, and they were showing some warmth and some respect, warm embrace and respect at the end of the race, particularly towards the legend in picture. Funny enough, both of those pictures there that I showed with you guys, so Melissa and TT Perry, they're all showing some warm embrace there to Shelley and Fraser Price, and there was something there that I definitely picked up on, can definitely appreciate it. Why? Because they don't necessarily have to, but definitely made note of their visible and public show of class. That's the way that I see it. A show of class, showing their warmth, as I said, respect and kindness. As I said, it's not something that they have to do. So the fact that they're doing it, definitely pull the fan in me. I don't know about you guys, but again, aside from what Melissa is doing on the track, just her, you want to call it aura, you can call it that, but for me, just her personality is definitely a personality there that I think many of us can warm to. And what's so funny about the United States and their athletes is that I feel like every now and then USA have that one or two athletes. I don't know if it surpasses two at any given time, but I feel like they have that athlete there. Again, maybe one or two athlete ever so often that you just, despite the fierce rivalry between us and them, so the United States and Jamaica, that is, you just can't help but to like one or two of their athletes. We've seen it in the past where they had the legend, the icon, Alison Felix. Also picked up on some little throwback moments there with Wallace Spearman. Don't know if you guys remember the relationship there Wallace Spearman had with Usain Bolt. Definitely something there that I think warmed a couple people's hearts. I can't speak for all of you, but again, I think in terms of giving the flowers there to Melissa and also TT Terry, it did remind me of when there it is okay to like or cheer for a couple of the USA athletes there in competition, or whether it's just wanting them to do well in their personal life. It's definitely different to the previous or the the old liking of athletes, like or lack thereof. I don't know if I could say the liking, probably lack thereof, when it comes to again a legend of the sport. You're talking about Justin Gatlin, Carmelita Jetta, and Tyson Gay. It's such a different spin to it, isn't it? And funny enough, I think Gatlin, I can't speak for you guys, but I think Gatlin's grown on me. Not that I think, definitely has grown on me. And it's kind of funny because growing up, I'm looking at the rivalry there between Jamaica and USA. I'm looking at the rivalry there between, Asafa. We got Asafa, Usain, USA had Gatlin and Tyson Gay, to name a few, and some few fierce, tense rivalries. So to now be sat here talking about, okay, now he's someone that's definitely grown on me. I put that down to the man himself and also Asafa. So I put that down to Gatlin and Asafa. I think everything that unfolded between those two nations is a little bit of a funny one to now again say that he has actually grown on me. It's like seeing Arsene Wenger, Jose Mourinho, and arguably the greatest manager of all time, Sir Alex Ferguson, on the pitch at the same time, all smiling and being all pally pally with each other. And while you love the warm embrace, and I think that might have been Wenger's final match at Old Trafford, before he subsequently moved on from Arsenal, it was just such a weird thing to see. Definitely appreciated it, but we all grew up despising each other, you know, Manchester United and Arsenal fans, and then to see two of the greatest managers, three of the greatest managers, I should say, to ever do it, not just in the Premier League, but just in world football. After all that the fan base have gone through, not that that united the fan base, definitely did not unite neither of the fan base, neither Arsenal and Manchester United. But I just kind of thought that it was funny, and I think it just goes to show that it's just a game. It's just a game. Whether you want to jump on the hate train or not, that's entirely down to you. Or whether you just want to watch and go, that's entirely down to you. Because I think we've all heard it in different sports, especially with football in mind, that these managers, they have wine together at the end of full time. A manager might invite another manager into their changing room and have a glass of wine together, and kind of think that is so funny the way that the fan base hate each other. To think that these guys are sitting down and having wine with each other, I think is it's funny. It's definitely funny when you look at things in hindsight, so to speak. So moving along, so that's my where we at. That's my top three so far. So far we've looked at Kenya. Kenya made my stood in my number fifth position, Botswana in fourth, USA in fifth. Now it comes down to my top two. If you haven't hit the like button, do go ahead and please hit the like button. It's not going to cost you a penny. Please do go ahead and hit the like button. I'm almost at the end of my top 5 moments of the World Athletics Championship. My top two, who is in my top two? I think it's pretty obvious, isn't it? It's entirely obvious who would make my top two. And I think so far I've been quite balanced. I think it's been quite objective. I don't think I've gone ahead and been top biased with my top 5. If you disagree, then let me know. If I need to go back to the drawing board and give it another spin, I will do exactly that, but I don't think I need to. So my top two comes down to my top two, and this was probably the first moment that made me laugh. You know, big up yourself, Conrad Smith. I hope you are in great health. My top 5, the first moment that made me laugh, I think it came over a week ago, and it's not just laughing, I'm lying. I was making a lot of noise, I'm surprised I didn't piss off my neighbors. I'm pretty sure I probably did. But it comes down to the athlete there that pretty much spoke it all into existence. He is someone there that showed that he believed in himself when many doubted him. And many doubted whether he'll be able to do what he said he would do. They looked at a couple of his achievements throughout this current season, and perhaps at the Olympics last year as well, and whether the build up to the Worlds, they probably looked at it and many thought that it was a fluke, you know, after all the near misses, the Paris Olympics disappointments. Finally, and it makes me so happy to say this, finally a deserved crown was placed on his head, firmly on his head. And it is something that I'm going to keep on talking about, because it's something that is extremely I'm extremely proud of, not just because he's my compatriot, I should say our compatriot, if I'm looking at Conrad Smith in the comment section, but I'm just glad that the man said he was going to do something and he went out there and did exactly that. And again, I will reiterate, when we did that interview from the Diamond League back in July of this year, and he spoke exclusively and said that he was going to go ahead and be crowned world champion in Tokyo, I was taken aback. I was thinking, don't tell me that you've gone ahead and jinxed it. Do not tell me that you've gone ahead and jinxed it. But he didn't jinx it. He said what he said, and it came to fruition. he quite literally spoke it into existence. And if in case you missed that one, as I said, I'm going to be using this until you guys get sick and tired of me. If you don't know how to speak things into existence, this person right here, this athlete right here is going to teach you exactly how to do it. It can only be one oblique Seville holding down my number 2 position for my top 5 moments in this year's World Athletics Championship. Keep rocking your crown, young king. Long may your feet do the talking. And in case you missed that interview, why not go ahead and give it a listen once.
Every time you're running, you look just cool as ice. Where do you get this demeanor from? Because it looks like nothing bothers you.
Yeah, because all of us are human beings, and I'm competing against humans, so why would I be afraid of someone? I'm a competitor, so I just focus on my race and do my part. That's what I have to do.
Some people are calling it that dominant performance there by yourself as a beat and teach, but surely the beat and teach comes in the worlds, right?
Yeah, because it's actually a good win, but the main focus is the world championship. So when I win at the world championship, everyone can say what they want to say.
Yeah.
Because I know for sure I'm going to win.
I love it. That's what I'm saying. That's the energy that I'm working with between now and the end of the year. And also, I should really be bringing that energy into 2026, pending that I do make it in 2026. I don't know what the Lord has in store for me, but hopefully, touch wood, we all sail on into 2026 and beyond. And definitely taking a lot of inspiration from Oblique Seville. As I said, he said he was going to do something, taken aback, thinking, nope, he might have jinxed that one. Even so, watching a lot of people doubt him, even when he was at the World Athletics Championships, the build up to the finals, heats, semi-finals, and the subsequent finals itself. Hearing a lot of people say he's not going to do it, he's not going to do it, he's going to catch on cold feet and whatever. But he did do it, and long may it continue. Now, before I get into my number 1 pick, before this one slips my mind, I do want to say big ups again to all of the athletes there that represented their respective nations. As I said, not getting to a semi-finals or a subsequent finals, missing out on those podium finishes, potentially not retaining your crown, to me isn't a failure. It definitely isn't a failure, and it should never ever be looked at as a failure. We already spoke about Navaski Anderson. Let's look at Navaski Anderson as an example, finishing 7th in the world, and he was up against some big hitters in the men's 800 meters final. He's up against the top 3, for example, the big Kenyan, the Algerian, and the Canadian, and he finished in 7th place. And when you look at that in the grand scheme of things, that I think is a monumental achievement, outside of the fact that obviously I'm sure he would have wanted a podium finish, but that in itself, finishing in 7th place, that basically means that you are the 7th best in the world in said event. So in the men's 800 meters, you are the 7th best in the world. So that for me is incredible, and I could only assume that it would only get better here on out from for someone like Navaski Anderson. So again, if you don't manage to, if those athletes there representing their respective nations weren't able to secure those as many like to call it, all important podium finish, for me it's not doom and gloom, because as I said, getting to the world championships is in itself a monumental achievement. So long may their individual and collective success continues. And to the injured athletes as well, definitely can't close up on the show about thinking of the injured athletes. Definitely some more, it's heart-wrenching, isn't it, to think that you potentially weren't able to compete at this year's World Championships because you picked up an untimely injury, either before the World Athletics Championship got underway or subsequently when the World Athletics Championships got underway. It's definitely heart-wrenching, and my heart definitely goes out to those athletes there. Upsetting to say the least, and we're definitely thinking of them and hoping that their road to recovery is going smooth sailing and that they will bounce back from this. And again, that in itself isn't a disappointment. I'm sure a couple of those athletes there would definitely be feeling downbeat, but it is not a disappointment, and it shouldn't feel like a disappointment. But I'm sure, the way that athletes look at things will be different to how I look at things. Now I am getting onto my number one, the person there in my number one position. I think it's not rocket science who's going to be holding down my number one position, is it? It's not. It's definitely can't be rocket science. I'm gonna see if I can change my screen once more. If not, I'm just going to dive right into it and get into my number one position. To those of you who are making your way home from work, I do hope that you make it home safe and unharmed, because doing so is a underrated blessing. If you're making your way out into the graveyard shift, I know a couple of you do some graveyard shifts. I do hope that you um make it to your destination safe and unharmed, and obviously do it in reverse as well. Try not to work yourself through the ground. Hope that when it's time for you to make it back home, that you do so in hold on, what is going on with my screen? I'm not sure if you guys can still see me, but my screen just went off on me. I should think that you guys can still see me though. I'm gonna continue. You guys can't, then I do apologize, but I do think that you guys can still see me. All right, so let's go ahead and move on with my my number one position. Again, I don't know what you guys make of everything that's been said so far, but do, if you're watching it back on replay or if you're watching it live, I do hope that you drop your comments in the comment section. Go ahead and give me your your top five. I want to know who you guys have down as your top five. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right into my top five. As I said, I think this one is completely obvious because the name hasn't been mentioned yet, and it would be rude not to, wouldn't it? The name hasn't been mentioned yet, and it would be rude not to. So my number one pick, don't think it's going to be different to you guys. Athlete, a global inspiration, not just for her nation, but I think also for her competitors. And I don't think there's enough words there to describe what she means, not just to the sport, but also to the world, and also mothers as well. I think it's important that when you're speaking about her greatness as an athlete, you do have to also mention the fact that she is also a mother. And why that is important is, as I've said on my other previous live stream of the World Athletics Championships itself, she has pretty much sent important message there to all the working mothers, the moms to be, and so on, that it can be possible. And what I mean by that is, in terms of your career, it is possible to be a mother and have a successful career. In terms of the sport itself, needs no introduction. It's not something there that needs to be introduced. It's quite simple. She came and she conquered it, and I, like many of you, definitely waiting for that Cinderella ending. I'm waiting for her to sail off into the sunset with a medal around her neck. That is definitely something there that we all wanted. I can't speak for you guys, but I think on this occasion, it's okay to go ahead and do exactly that, because like I said, I think I speak for all of us when it was something there that we all wanted to happen. When we saw what happened in the individual sprinting event, her not being able to medal, not being able to get onto the podium, obviously we were left feeling a little bit disappointed. But then came the 4x400 women's relay final, and we finally got exactly what we wanted there in terms of the Cinderella ending. And what was so special about this moment here in the 4x100 meters relay finals is that it's it kind of felt like, I don't know about you guys, but I've watched this back a number of times, and I don't think it's about me being biased. I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm gonna say that USA were almost caught. They were almost caught. I think if the race had gone on for just a few meters longer, not much, just a tad bit longer, I think Shakira would have been caught on the line. I don't know, maybe I don't think that's me being biased, but I do firmly believe that she would have been caught. But nevertheless, you can see the screen there in front of you. I'm definitely delighted with the silver medal there, led by the veteran herself, Shelly and Fraser Price. Also had the Clayton twins there, and Smith. Smith came out there like a bull in a pen. And as I said, if that race went on for a tad bit longer, I am 100% convinced that she would have caught Shakiri on the line. But as I said, I'm definitely settling for the silver, not downbeat about the silver, because that race in itself, aside from it gave us the Cinderella ending, which we all wanted. It was poetic. I think that race was poetic. Whether you were watching it live or whether you've gone back and watch it on replay a number of times, definitely everything about that race was just so poetic. Again, aside from the obvious, Shelley getting the podium finish, which we all wanted, so close to gold, so close. But that's nothing for us to be downbeat about. Again, going back to the race, there reminded me of I think it might have been an Olympic Games. I can't remember if it was an Olympic Games or a a World Championship, but it reminded me when Shelly passed in the baton there to Tia, and you can see her in the background yelling. It reminded me of Usain Bolt once passing the baton there, I believe, to Asafa, and he was yelling like, run Asafa, something of that ilk. That moment there kind of reminded me of what we were seeing in front of us in terms of Shelly passing the baton to Tia. And it's not just that in terms of the little similarities there, but it's quite simple. The legend bowing out and passing the baton to the next generation, quite literally passing on the baton to the twin turbo, and you can't be mad at that, can you? Yes, it's bittersweet. It's a silver medal that is so bittersweet. It holds down my number one position there, particularly for Shelly, I should say, holding down my number one position for getting that much deserved Cinderella story. Definitely warmed my heart, and I'm sure it warmed you guys' heart as well. Again, going back and looking at the race there from memory, as I said, extremely poetic, from Shelley passing the baton there to Tia, Tia passing the baton to Tina. Everything about it in terms of the way that they move, the way that they exchange the handover. I think it was Tia that when she was passing the baton there to her sister Tina, holding her hand and giving her the baton. Basically, she was going out there to basically say that despite the fact that it was pissing down with rain, she was probably thinking to herself, we're getting a medal by any means necessary. And yes, again, so close to gold, but her holding her sister's hand and placing the baton into her sister's hand is, for me, a pro move. Such a pro move. Again, we are getting on that podium by any means necessary, because the greatest female sprinter of all time deserve a Cinderella finish. She deserves to be on the podium, and the girls went out there and did exactly that. Big ups to Smith. I just wish that line there, that it went, that the race there went on just for a tad bit longer, and you say would have been pipped. No one can convince me otherwise, right? Nobody can convince me otherwise. So for me, Shelly definitely holding down my top 5 moments. She's holding down number 1 in my top 5 moment. I think for a lot of people, Shelley will forever be one of the few faces there that represented athletics. When you think of athletics, you think of some of the greatest names, whether it's the greatest male sprinter of all time that beat her compatriots, Usain, or like I said, one of the legends there, Alison Felix. You definitely have to give her credits as well. But to think this small island of ours, when you think of athletics, you can't talk about athletics without mentioning a couple names, and Shelley's name has to be mentioned, and it's going to be mentioned for decades and century, and rightly so. As I said, she will forever be one of the few faces of athletics. So big ups to the legend. Massive thank you to her for doing doing what she did off the track, and also sorry, on the track and off it as well. She's definitely someone there that is so approachable. I don't know if you guys have had the pleasure of either speaking to her in any mixed zone interviews, or just speaking to her maybe if you've seen her in the streets or at any events, media events or whatever. I'm not really sure, but for me, definitely someone that is so approachable, warm, kind-hearted, great person to speak with. So yeah, big ups to the legend. As I said, thank you for representing Black girls and women, Jamaicans, again, mothers to be working moms, smashing it out the park, letting girls know across the world that it can be done. And it speaks volumes when our fiercest competitors, the United States, they love Shelly. Like a couple of their athletes, that is, they love her and they give her praise. It's not just the likes of your Alison Felix that put the flowers firmly at the feet of Shelly and Fraser Price. You see these young girls out there, big ups to Melissa, big ups to Titi. They're giving her flowers as well. And you've also seen Justin Gatlin give her flowers as well. So for your fiercest countries, where you have some of your toughest battles to be turning around, and they're looking up to you, like, how unbelievable is that? The fact that it comes from the horse's mouth. They're paying homage, in terms of Melissa and Titi paying homage to Shelley, not just on one occasion, but on a number of occasions there. And the eye test don't lie. You saw the warm embrace there at the end of the women's 4x100 meters finals. That's real. That's pure. That's not something there that's scripted. That's not them showing up for the cameras. That is Shelley in a nutshell. Like, how can you not love her? How can you not be inspired by her? How can you not appreciate her? I'm just so proud that she belongs to us. She's our own athlete, and she represented us well on the biggest of stages. For me, you can't argue with it. The greatest female sprinter of all time. There will never ever be another Shelley and Fraser Price. So she holds down my number one position. Backtracking a little bit, Kenya holding down the fifth position, Botswana holding down the fourth, USA holding down the third, and Jamaica for a cheeky one too. But I think it's a deserved one too. I don't think I was being biased. I think I've been as objective as I can be. So yeah, that is how my top 5 list is looking. If you guys disagree, then do go ahead and let me know. But that's my top 5 moments of the World Athletics Championships. I'm not sure if you guys have any questions or any comments there that you want to fire at me, but my background is very, very loud, hence my volume going up. So I do apologize if the volume is going up. So it's been almost 1 hour, and with that, I'm going to have to love you and leave you. Thank you to those of you who voted for the live stream. I did ask you guys if you wanted one more athletics live stream, and you did. And again, thank you to those of you who took the channel over to 8,000 subscribers. Big up you guys there for taking it over to 8,000 subscribers. We're actually now steadily on the road to 9,000 subs. I don't know how you guys are doing it, but massive thank you to you guys there. I've surpassed my own target for the year. The target was 5K. And you guys have added an extra 3K to that, and it looks like you're about to add an extra 4K, which for me is mind blowing. So thank you. Big ups to you guys there. If you're making your way home from work, I do hope that you make it through your doors safely and unharmed. If you're on the graveyard shift, don't work yourself through the ground. You are just an asset. You are just a number. You can be easily replaced. Sorry to break it to you, but that's just the way that it is. If you're watching this one back on a replay, do go ahead and drop your top 5 moments of the 2025 World Athletics Championships, because I want to know. I'm interested to hear whether or not we have the same top 5. I don't think we will. I think we view these world championships differently, so I trust that we won't have the same list. But if in case we do, that will make for an interesting conversation. So go ahead and drop your top 5 best moments of the 2025 World Athletics Championships, and I will get back to you guys. All right, I'm going to have to love you and leave you. It is just gone past 12 a.m. My throat hurts. I need some honey and some lemon, see if I can get rid of whatever this is. I think it's a combination of the change in weather and also the screaming. I've been doing a lot of screaming because of these World Athletics Championships. So yeah, I'm going to love you and leave you. Let's see if I can give you guys a quick little update. I know I got some football guys there tuning in. EFL Cup took place earlier on, so that is the Carabao Cup. Can go ahead and read out some results there for you guys. Fulham beating Cambridge United 1-0. Wycombe Wanderers defeating Wigan Athletics 2-0. Brighton and Hove Albion thumped Barnsley 6-0. Cardiff City produced a 2-1 victory over Burnley. Wrexham defeating Reading 2-0. And the Premier League big boys, Liverpool beating Southampton 2-1. Liverpool also saw red in that game. It is Hugo Ekitike. He saw red literally 1 minute or so after he scored inside the 85th minute. And that is how the Carabao Cup concludes. As I said, I'm going to love you and leave you. Hope to see you on another live stream. We're going to segue and talk about some different sports now. If there's anything out there that you want me to cover, do let me know. Thank you for hitting the like button. If you're new to the channel, do go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and you know how it goes. Until next time, take care. We built this out of love, out of pride, shining a light from the island to the diaspora to the world. A golden beacon of sports, music, and everything in between. The very best of Jamaica. We little, but we Talawa.